Yeah, I'm back again. Y'all are gonna get sick of me. Alright. Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today's episode is a series of unpopular opinion stories. I know we just kind of had one the other day, but that was kind of like a weird... It was kind of a weird situation because I really came across it. I really wanted to touch on it, on that just unpopular opinion in general, and kind of like the fact that I was also a part of it. Like, I just thought it was a better thing to go on, and I didn't really want to wait until like 3 weeks later. So yeah, but now we're back on track with, because we just had Am I the Asshole come out, so we're back to unpopular opinions. As usual, the usernames of the users whose stories we're reading will be in the description below. Please go give their story and any others that they may have done some love, and feel free to leave a comment on their post and even tag me in the comments letting them know that you heard their story here. My username for Reddit is in the description. You can even tag me in stories you'd like to hear me read. We'll get started right after this ad. I don't remember what episode I'm on. No emojis. It's really hard sometimes. Just really hard. All right. Rude. Alright. Alright. Thank you guys for listening to the ad, as usual. Let's go ahead and get started with our first one. If you wear a cowboy hat, I can't take you seriously, and I think you look ridiculous. I totally understand if you are a rancher in Montana and spend 95% of your year dealing with cattle, etc. But I'm in California, and I saw a 25-year-old at a Panera Bread wearing it on a Wednesday. Like, what the fuck? You look ridiculous. Compare it to me walking around in a pink tutu or a Kentucky Derby hat. Okay, I mean, I understand. I think that this person is viewing cowboy hats as if somebody is going around and wearing like a construction hat for fashion. That is not permission to go around and wearing construction hat for fashion. Because again, yeah, cowboy hats do kind of have a function. Like, you know, they kind of help to keep the sun out of your eyes. I know, kind of like a ball cap. But yeah, and they're heavier duty, like, depending on, like, the brand and how good of quality it is. But, somebody in the comments, I just kind of, the top comment kind of caught my eye, but it says, I think we need to quit caring about what other people put on their bodies, which is true. I think if it doesn't affect you, it's none of your business. Flat out. Yeah, because it's like, why do you get to decide what somebody else puts on their body just because it annoys the shit out of you? Like, there's so many other things that we could worry about. Like, worry about the crackhead at the corner selling drugs to, you know, your younger brother's best friend. Like, let's worry about that. Let's stop worrying about what other people, what strangers that we don't even know and probably will never see again put on their bodies. Alright. Working the weekends and having weekdays off is better to working the week and having weekends off. Used to getting odd looks all the time in interviews when asked if I was willing to work weekends, and I would volunteer for all of them, just so long as my days off during the week were back to back. Always see people complain about having to work the weekends or even every other weekend. I just don't get it. Having weekdays off is better. Depending on job, working weekends pays more. If I were hourly at my current job, I would be earning time and a half on Saturday and double time on Sunday. As a salaried employee, however, I get 15 minutes of PTO per hour worked, so 1/4 more pay. Workload is usually lower on weekends. You getting paid the same or more for less work. All the fun things that people do on the weekends are generally available during the week as well, but with fewer crowds. I like to golf. I have very few friends who also golf if I go on the weekends. I usually get shoehorned into some other group. Even if I take a friend, we get paired with another group, and then we inevitably get stuck between the slowest players in the world and some twat waffle that is apparently trying to do a speed run on the course. Weekday, though, so few people that if I take a friend with me, it's usually just us, and we can play at whatever pace we want. Need to go grocery shopping? Can go later in the day and still not have everything picked over, because most people are working. Also, if you go to smaller stores, they usually get their trucks in on Tuesdays and Fridays, so you might have a shot at slightly fresher produce. On the weekend, unless you are there within the first 3 to 4 hours, everything has been picked over, and the store is flooded with parents who finally managed to get their crotch goblins, that's crossed out, kids, in the car. Aside from the lunch rush between 11:30 and 1:30 p.m., everything just flows at a much more relaxed pace. So, I currently work weekends. I currently work Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays because my kid's not in school. And because of mine and his dad's schedules, his dad always has Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So he will watch our son, and I can go to work. When it's during the school year, I work Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And I personally enjoy working during the week more because I also work in retail. I think that explains a lot of it. But I also work in the back. We are getting ready to get into our busier season. So for me, I'm getting ready to go and start sorting clothing, which for me is going to, I pretty much sum it up as practicing for my career in Frisbee golf. Those of you that know me personally might be a little terrified of the fact that I throw things for work. I understand and give zero fucks. I'm going to continue to throw things even when I'm not getting paid to do them. But seriously, I see both sides. When I first started working weekends, I was like, man, this is great. I missed hanging out with my husband. Like, flat out. I missed spending the time with him that we got to spend time with. Because I was also because I was working weekends, I was like, I will get up as early as possible and go in, which is 6 o'clock on Fridays and 7 on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't get paid extra to work weekends. If I did, I would probably stay that way. Maybe, no, I don't know. I really miss being able to stay up with my husband and hang out with him while he streams on his Twitch or YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I miss those moments. I miss being able to hang out with him because I feel like when he's home, I'm going to bed at, 7, 8 o'clock at night and waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock the next morning to go to work, and then I come home and I'm fucking exhausted because I slept like shit the night before. And yeah, like, I miss hanging out with him. I miss those moments. I miss the just me and him moments that we get to have during the school year, and I am so excited for school to start at the end of this month. So excited. I think if I got paid more to work weekends, I wouldn't mind it so much. But it was definitely an adjustment that I'm still currently not fully enjoying. Flashbacks ruin a movie. For the most part, it's lazy filmmaking to tell the story. They use fuzzy, filter-heavy effects that cheapens the whole show. Much of the time, it's just to increase running time. I'm looking at you, the control room. I think it really depends. I really do. I really think it depends on the movie. It depends on the flashback. It depends on why there's a flashback. It's... I don't know. I think I kind of enjoy the flashbacks because I like seeing it from a first-hand perspective. Because there's a difference between the way we remember something and the way it actually happened. And I feel like, depending on how they're portraying the flashback, you get, like, the actual story, not just the character's point of view about the flashback. If they're talking about it, like, later on, like, almost kind of think of it as with Harry Potter, in, the 6th movie, where they're going, was it the 6th one? Yeah, in Half-Blood Prince, where Harry is trying to get that memory from Slughorn. Slughorn gave Dumbledore the memory already, and it was altered. So that wasn't the real story. So for us, the flashback was skewed because it was altered. I feel like when you get like a flashback that's from, you know, like the act, like from a third point of view, not from the character's point of view, you get all the information, not just the character side of what they want you to feel. I'm just gonna say it on that one. Oh, this might hurt some weebs' feelings. Alright, Shin Ramen isn't good, it's just spicy. I've seen YouTube videos and reviews about the best packaged ramen you can buy, and without fail, it's the Shin brand always winning. Usually the black, but sometimes the red too. I finally found a place that sells them, and I've tried both twice now. What the fuck? There was no flavor other than spicy. I like spicy food, so I figured this would be a home run. It's not. It tastes the exact same as all the other trash brands, quote unquote, hot and spicy ramen. It's not even a good spicy. A broth made out of Frank's Red Hot and water would taste better than this. Is this some weird conspiracy? I cannot imagine anyone eating this and going, yes, this is unironically good. I think it really depends on the person, for one. Because, again, not everybody's taste buds are the same. I make that comment so much. I made it just over this past weekend at work. I was at work, and I work in the back. And right next to where I work, there is an emergency exit door. Well, they opened the emergency exit door because there was somebody working on something in the back, and instead of having to walk through the whole store to get all the way to the back, they just opened the back. They turned off the alarm and opened the back door. We had somebody come in from our fishing department, and he was all like, why is this door open? And I was like, oh, my sanity got out, so I put out some dopamine right outside the door in hopes that it'll come back. It hasn't worked yet. He goes, man, he was like, if you want your sanity to come back, he's like, you might want to add some vodka or you know, pizza. And I'm like, yeah, pineapple on pizza. I'm like, that'll make it come back. And he goes, pineapple on pizza is trash. And I just looked at him and I go, not everybody can have good taste buds. It's okay. Because honestly, I guess my unpopular opinion that I've discovered is that pineapple on pizza is good. Most people just hate it because the internet tells them to. Honestly. That's really how I feel about it. I can't say I've ever tried Shin Ramen. Maybe I need to. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to go to the Oriental store and find some different kinds of ramen and try them, because I think that would be fun. Ryan Gosling has the emotional expression range of a frozen burger patty. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. It's been a hot minute since I saved some of these, so some of these I don't exactly remember. Just watched The Gray Man the other day. I'm absolutely blown away by how stone-faced he is throughout the movie. You can really tell when he is happy, sad, or mildly aggravated, all by his expressions of a single... It's a freaking, Easter Island egg, or Easter Island head emoji. I don't know what that means. Someone translate. How is that man an A-lister is beyond me, which is why I think this topic fits in this sub. There are definitely people like that. Another thing that I think we don't complain about enough or make people realize enough is that there are directors and producers that choose these actors and actresses. Like, a lot of people give shit for, like, the Twilight movies are a perfect example. A lot of people give shit about Robert Pattinson's and, Bella's, I can't even remember her fucking name right now. Wow, holy crap. I keep on wanting to call her Kristen Bell, and that is not her name. But they keep giving, like, Edward, the actor and actress for Edward and Bella, a lot of shit. And they're just like, oh, they're just such bad actors. But at the same time, you also have to realize, the director told them to act that way. Like, the director purposely was like, yes, like, no, act more like this. Like, this is a little bit more. So, like, when everybody makes fun of, like, the way Bella acts, like, especially in New Moon, when, you know, it's like, oh, like, the way that she acts when the Volturi are torturing Edward, and she's like, no, kill me, and, like, just, like, her arm movements and everything like that. She was directed to act like that. I just want everyone to remember that. Like, let's remember, directors are a thing, and they also influence the movie as well. Let's not just blame the actors and actresses. If an actor or actress is absolute trash, the director can request somebody else. Like, that is a thing. Like, it becomes apparent, obviously, very quickly. If the director continues to work with that actor or actress, it's not completely the actor or actress's fault. I'm just gonna say that one. You should kink shame people for oversharing with strangers. So I want to say that we don't kink shame here. There are certain ones that I think are obvious, and if you have to guess or are unsure, you might be part of that kink. I'm using air quotes because it's not a kink. It's fucking illegal. Ma'am, this is a vape shop, not sex therapy. I'm a cashier. I don't want to be here, or I don't want to hear about your sex life. I do not give a shit about what is going on in your bedroom, and some of y'all need to learn how to keep your fantasies in the bedroom and with your close friends. The amount of people who think it's cool to come into a random store and vent their sexual frustrations, or even worse, have phone sex while I'm trying to get them to pay and leave is ridiculous. I would genuinely break up with a partner if I found out they were sharing our sex life to random people who are forced to talk to them. I am an employee. Just because I served you shit for 8 months does not mean we are friends. The only reason I'm still talking to you after a transaction is because I'm not allowed to sit down or clean until you leave. So, I was not sure how I felt about this starting out. I'm not gonna lie. I think I actually agree. As funny as it is, I think, to have these wild ass stories from customers, like, especially when I worked at Walmart. Yeah, like, later on in my life now, it's like, I don't really want to hear about your things. Or I guess my other thing is if you have, like, a daddy and little type of one, but I'm talking about, like, the super cringy ones where it's like, you're a obvious 35, 40-year-old woman, and you're, like, talking in an ooh girl voice. I hate myself for even making that noise. And your daddy, quote unquote, is, you know, like, if you're exposing other people to your kink out in public, it's a little much. Like, there's a time and a place for everything. And Walmart at 3 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon is not it. Just gonna say that. Kinks are for you. They are not for everybody. And I feel like it's kind of like religion. You shouldn't force your kinks onto other people. Nightmares are fun. They're like personal scary movies. You wake up, adrenaline coursing through your veins and sweating up a storm. The movie features people you know and things that only you or your subconscious knows that you find terrifying or anxiety-producing. Your deepest rooted fears composed into a horrifying little story that freaks you the fuck out harder than anything you could pay for at the theater, and your brain does this for free. Kinda neat. I agree. I honestly, I have made, like, started stories, like, books off of nightmares that I have had. And honestly, I think you can find out more about yourself through a nightmare than you can anything else. Because it's like, I didn't know I was scared of that. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I think I definitely agree. Nightmares are kind of fun. And for those that can, like, control their nightmares, I, for one, super jealous. Anyone who can control their dreams in general, I am super jealous of. I have had my moments where I've been able to, like, lucid dream type thing where I have a little bit more control. And for one, it was so much fun. Like, it was so much fun. I enjoyed it. It's so cool. For those that can do it, like, just, like, on the fly like that, super jealous. I will probably never not be jealous until I can do it myself. There's too many breweries. Like, how many different craft beers can you possibly make in this oversaturated saturated market? Like, how many little tweaks can you possibly make to beer? I can't even count how many breweries there are in my city alone, and when I go to pick up at most local gas stations, there's an overwhelming number of options. But when you get past the quirky names, how different can they all be from one another? So, I again think this comes down to taste buds, I'm gonna say. Because again, everybody's taste buds are different. There are certain things, like adding, like, a little bit of extra hop to, like, a certain thing, or, like, I think anybody who cooks for a living and like, especially, like, at home, you can make something one time and it can be absolutely amazing. And then the next time you make it and you try to make it the exact same way, you don't use as much of one thing or as the other, and it's off and it doesn't taste as good as last time. When it comes to breweries and stuff like that, you know, they have, like, flat out recipes, like, they weigh their ingredients, all that stuff, so it tastes the same the exact every single time. Because imagine, like, you know, making a really good beer and having a great batch and it going out and everyone falling in love with it and then coming back and wanting to buy it again, and it turns out that the next time that you make it, it's absolute shit. Like, nobody's gonna buy it again. Like, you're kind of out of business. Like, once you find a recipe that works, like, you don't mess with it. The thing is that everybody has different tastes. And that's a big thing too, is the different tastes. So I get it because there are so many people, but I also don't get it as well. I mean, I think it's kind of like having, like, a McDonald's and a Burger King right across the street from each other. Like, there's a difference, yes, but, like, how much of a difference is there really when you think about it? Anything is not a valid answer to questions like, what type of music do you like? Edit. I don't know why people are talking about music. It was just an example. I really don't care about music that much, to be honest, as I only listen to one type. I only get told anything when I ask people what food they like to eat/make. Sometimes when I'm trying to get to know someone and ask them a question like, what do you like to eat/what TV shows or films do you like, I get told anything. That answer is annoying, and it stops conversations from occurring as it gives me nothing to work with. It doesn't tell me anything about the person I am chatting with. I also have nothing to work with, so the conversation can't continue. I wish those people would give proper answers instead of saying anything. As somebody that is notorious for giving this answer when asked these type of questions, I usually end up continuing. Like, I go, I really like anything, but I prefer this over this. Like, I do. Like, I have been told that my music tastes and my playlists, like, give people music whiplash. Because I can be listening to, like, Disturbed one moment, and then, you know, my phone is, my music is always on shuffle, like, always. And then the next time, we're listening to, like, a song from the movie Annie. So it's like, I definitely get it. Of, you know, like, I think a lot of people, I know for me, anyway, when I tell somebody anything, I am partially embarrassed of my music choices, or I feel like I am embarrassed of my music choices at the moment, or I'm usually embarrassed of this music choice that comes to mind when asked that. Because I don't know you well enough to feel that vulnerable and actually let you know that I enjoy show tunes all the time. Or that I prefer the Glee cover of a song to most of the other songs that they cover. Like the originals. That's my unpopular opinion. I think most of the Glee covers that they have done for songs are top tier. And I know a lot of people don't like them, so I just kind of go, yeah, anything. Like, whatever. When it comes to food, I will try anything once. Like, absolutely anything. Like, I will try, like, I will try any type of food once. Because, I mean, like, why not? Like, how do I know if I don't like it if I don't actually try it? If you tried therapy and medicate... Okay, I did read this one just recently, like, not the whole thing, but I'm gonna add a trigger warning real quick. So if you're watching, or if you're listening, and you want to skip ahead, like, a couple minutes, go ahead, but trigger warning. Right here, right now, we're talking about sewer slides. If you tried therapy and medication for years and still want to end your life, you should have access to an easy way to do so. You have to try what's proposed to heal first, but if you don't get better after some years, the least that could be proposed to you is a safe and peaceful way to end your life. I'm probably going to get a lot of weird looks from people that know me and listen to this. But I kind of agree. I know a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. I have known at least one person where life just keeps hitting them hard over and over and over and over again. And as somebody who has had these thoughts before, I agree. I think that if you go through all the therapy, like a mandated certain amount of time, like year, 2 years, you take the right medications that are right for you, you go through the guinea pig stage of finding a medication that works, pot, stuff like that. And, let's say, you start it and 5 years down the road, you're still just depressed. You're still depressed. You're still suicidal. I believe that if not, like, you have tried everything, absolutely everything, nothing is absolutely working. Your dopamine just does not exist. I think that having a safe and easy way to go is okay. I think that it should be an option for those that have absolutely tried everything. And I might get some weird looks about it. I might get talked to. But it is. I truly think that it should be an option. And I'm just going to leave that there. Because anybody that's going to argue is going to argue about it anyway. Alright. On to something a little bit more happy. Kids, or anyone, should not be expected to do yard work. I'm 23 now, and have realized all the times I was made to do yard work, whether at parents, grandparents, or anyone else's house, was unjustified. We don't live in the 18th century anymore, where son's number one is the blacksmith, or where son number one is the blacksmith, number two milks the cows, daughter number one sews clothing, number two does farm work, etc. 1. People should take responsibility for their own property. If they want to have a garden, or anything done in their yard, they should either A, do it themselves, B, prepared to pay money to someone willing to do the work, or C, abandon the property and yard or leave it to nature if they aren't prepared to do it themselves. They for sure should not expect another person, especially a young kid not in the least bit interested in yard work, to get swamp ass expending their energy on physical labor they don't give a damn about. We live in 2022. There's a lot of luxury available and a lot of things to do. There's no reason why someone should be made to do work in the yard when they could focus on other things. It is so selfish and arrogantly entitled to expect another person to work in the yard for your property. Hammering home the last point, there's a level of entitlement and pettiness in expecting another person to expend physical energy on a stupid, trivial yard work when they could be doing other things because you aren't willing to do it yourself. Pay the money for someone willing, or fuck off. So, do you also not expect children to, like, clean up the bathroom after themselves? Like, once kids get to a certain age, like, if they use it, like, if my kid goes out and plays in my yard, then he has every right to come out and help me clean the yard. And I'm not just talking about, like, picking up his toys. Like, how do you expect children to learn if they even like something without trying it first? Like, it's like food. Like, you can look at something and be like, that doesn't look very good. And try it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, like, this is actually really good. Like, I'm glad I tried this. I'm glad I stepped out of my comfort zone to try it. I know with me, growing up, my grandma was always, like, had us in the garden, like, trying to help, like, do stuff like that. I was not interested. Now, as an adult, I know the basis of taking care of plants. And honestly, like, I excel at it without even trying. As much as I don't want to give her props for it, that's probably where I got it from. But, I mean, kids, we have to teach our kids to do shit. And it's always the most mundane things you may not think are fun or, you know, like, worth the time, but how are they supposed to know later? And I get it. Like, you're probably going to come out with me like, oh, YouTube. Okay, YouTube doesn't give you every single situation of your area. Like, you could, like, that could be, like, the general consensus. But, like, I could go watch somebody on YouTube on how to take care of some roses, and the roses not turn out as good as the way my grandma taught me about it. So, I think it really depends on, I think, I get where you're coming from. I think you just really don't like hard labor. It's one of those things where it's like, I can see your side, but the side I see is you're just lazy. That's probably a bitchy thing to say, but that's what I'm going to say. Alright. Long acrylic nails seem like more trouble than they're worth. Don't get me wrong. Once in a while they look pretty, and I'd even say stunning, but most of the time they look too long, and using your knuckles for everything seems like a pain in the ass. Not to mention the price of some of them, especially if you're not fully satisfied with the design. Some nail techs will play dumb and throw you the, well, that's what I did, so that's what you got card, and then you're stuck with 2-inch subpar nails for God knows how long. So, I think you're talking about the ones that are ungodly long. Like, literally, you cannot do a single fucking thing with them. I do my nails every once in a while, and I keep them relatively short. Like, I get so tired of, like, I've tried doing, like, the longer nail. When by longer, I mean, like, not even half an inch past where the tip of my finger ends. Like, I'm talking about, like, maybe, like, an 1/8 of an inch. But I am clumsy, and I will always catch my fingernails on, like, the corner of a table or, like, the end, like, the tip of this. Like, I'm so used to having my fingers shorter that it's, like, adding that length is really annoying. So, I get it. And I haven't had my nails done in, God, I can't even, I think it was, like, shortly after my son was born, maybe? Like, I think my birthday after my son was born. So it's been a hot minute. I usually otherwise do my nails myself. So I can control the shape, the size, the length, all that stuff. Like I can, color them as often as I want. And it's honestly cheaper because going and spending like $80 on getting my nails done for them to break off, barely 2 weeks later, like to me, it's just not worth it. For the people that decide that they need like 4-inch long nails, are you okay? Like, why? Like, I understand it's more to work with, you can get bigger designs on it, but other than that, like, what does it bring to you to make it worth it? I'm honestly very, very curious. I really want to know, if you have long nails out there and you're listening to this, if you can, let me know why they're worth it. Like, I want actual information, not just because, oh, well, I think they're pretty. That's not a fucking reason. Tell me, what do they bring to your life besides dopamine that makes them worth all the other hassles of regular life? Wiping your ass. Fucking not getting them caught in the car door when you close the door. Like, I'm honestly very curious to know. And I think other people are too. Because I don't get it. I do not get it. I'm not part of that girl squad that gets it, I guess. This one is going to piss off another lot of girls. There is nothing great about Target. Target is everywhere like Walmart. Neither is nice to look at, but at least Walmart has cheaper prices. I first noticed this with Fallout 76. I bought it at Walmart for $2.99. It wasn't even Black Friday. Then I stopped into Target while at the mall and looked at the games. Fallout 76 cost $59.99. At the time, $19.99 was the highest price at any place else, including Best Buy and GameStop. Another place I don't shop at, it's not just with games, all other products are the same price as the other stores or slightly more expensive. Plus, the bright white lighting that they have around the store and white shelving just makes me miss Sears. It looks like the 90s in there. It was relaxing, had good sales, and now it's just big, bright, white light with a red Target. I agree. I have been to Target, and I have been to Walmart, and the only reason I will choose Target over Walmart is because most of the time the people that shop there are slightly more put together. I don't want to say classy or trashy or anything like that. I just feel like they're slightly more put together. And that makes it more, like, it makes it more relaxing and more calming to deal with while shopping. So, I guess that's all I have to say about that one. I think this is going to be our last one. Why commit a crime in the first world country? Since I am from a poor country, I am always surprised that there are people from rich countries like America, Britain and Germany committing small crimes for money like smuggling drugs or robbing houses. I am guessing you can make $5,000 at most when smuggling $50,000 worth of cannabis. You can probably make that in 3 to 5 months, $10, 40 hours a week, 4 weeks, 4 months. Wouldn't it be better to work a minimum wage job, live in a shelter or government subsidized housing, and eat food from food bank/food stamps? Like Pursuit of Happiness. When I was in the U.S., I biked instead of taking public transit and eat from food bank or $1 pizza. There are so many supports like minimum wage, benefits, free job counseling, libraries, and museums. As somebody that does not work in the U.S., I can understand the confusion. But it's not that easy. We have taxes, we have everything else. Something always seems to happen. I am not condoning anybody that does anything illegal, but to a certain extent, I understand. That's kind of all I have to say about it. Like, to a certain extent, I understand why people do some illegal things. Like, selling drugs to try and get extra money. It's stupid, yes. And I think everybody knows the risks before you even, like, agree to it. So, agreeing to do it and doing it, it is a risk and it is stupid. I can't really say that this is an unpopular opinion. This is more of a I just don't get it opinion. But that was kind of our last one. It was very interesting. And if anybody has anything to say about any of them, please feel free to let me know. Thank you to everyone for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know someone who likes my content, feel free to send me their way in a share. If you would like to send me a message with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or any day, send me a message on any of my social media found in the description below. Just look for my cute little avatar you see on whatever app you're listening on. Please, give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch you all next time. Bye! And I will catch you all next time, because nobody stayed this time. Bye!